real brief, how I kind of like got to this dude in a way was, I've talked a lot about, I've had an upbringing with a lot of gospel, very sheltered, big church energy. And then, slowly but surely the walls came down. My cousins always kind of would show me more music. And, I remember the first music video I ever saw was Down with the King. And like my cousins would kind of like show me kind of hip hop a little bit, not hear a little bit about it. And eventually in high school, I kind of started kind of seeking out a little bit more and getting into stuff on my own. And like, Tupac had a big influence, right? I thought he was really fucking good. So that was a major point that like landed on my board. And then, from there kind of discovering Talib and Mos Def and Common and all these dudes kind of eventually, I met friends who introduced me to more shit and like, we're like, yo, let's go with the classics, Nas and Jay-Z and, Chino XL even at a point. But all this to say that like, I feel like I followed a lot of that stuff. And then there was a point in the mid-aughts where I just kind of, not to say that there wasn't anything new coming out that was interesting, but I kind of stopped following or getting word about new stuff. I kind of dropped off and I wasn't as much of an adherent. And I've always been like, yeah, I don't like the new stuff that I like coming out from this era, right? As that time kind of spread out around the mid-aughts, I feel like I was following Kanye. I was big into Kanye, but there's a lot of hip hop that I kind of just I kind of dropped off on, and I know there were these good examples over time that were around there, but for the most part, as I also started to hang out with the friends list who were like turning me on to new shit, I kind of felt like there was a desert of quality for a long time.
What kind of era are we talking?
I mean, going from the late aughts into the early 2010s, right? It was just, there was, bits and pieces here and there, but overall, I was not down with the direction and I was not enjoying things that much. Until I found out about Kendrick and I listened and heard what fucking made the hair stand up on the back of my neck. And I was like, oh shit, this is that new shit. This is the shit that I've been kind of waiting to hear about. This is real as fuck and I love it. And coincidentally, the era that I kind of started falling off on turned out to be the rise in prominence of Drake and the distillation of the genre as his style became what hip hop was for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I think that is no coincidence, to be honest. But looking at it now, I bring up Kendrick as a favorite now because, like, after just being into the people I was into for a long time, it was the first new artist that I fucking was like, yo, that. And I feel strongly about it, So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I don't particularly remember how this happened, but there was a time when I was a white Irish 11-year-old that was just crazy into NWA.
Yeah, you were.
I fucking, and particularly Straight Outta Compton, still one of my favorite albums of all time. Straight Outta Compton is a fucking incredible album. For a long time, the song Fuck the Police was my go-to karaoke song until I realized that that's not okay. And
was it Neighbors with Attitude then?
We don't need to get into it.
What bounces off the walls within the echoing corners of your own home when no one is around and the windows are shut?
Well, no. Well, okay. I see. Okay, I knew this would come up, and I have a system to take care of this. Okay, when I am rapping to a song I like and certain parlances that should not come out of my mouth come up, I have invented the buddy system, and that's when you imagine that you have a black friend who is also rapping with you, and you kind of steamboat Willie it. So like the line comes up, so you're like da 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 da, and then like the bit that you're not allowed to say comes up, and you just kind of give it this.
Yeah. Ooh.
and you're just emotionally supporting your black friend who is
Pyrus and Crips all got along. They're probably gun me down by the end of the song. Seems like the whole world go against me. Every time I'm in the street, I hear, yeah, 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 man down. Where you from? John? Fuck who you know. Where you from, my John?
So
where your grandma stay? Where your grandma stay, huh, John?
I know what that means.
All right. Well, listen.